Welcome back, Volt family, to the Volt Academy series. My name is Steven, and today we are joined by Christy, our head of training experience here at Volt Athletics. We often talk about the subject of the benefits of strength training for women. It's a common topic of discussion around Volt HQ. It is also a common topic of discussion that we get from both our coaches and individuals who train. So Christy is going to help us touch on some of those broader issues, or I would say a couple of the most important things about why you should definitely be in the strength room training.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. As Steven mentioned, I'm head of training experience at Volt, and I'm also a certified strength conditioning specialist and was a personal trainer for many years working specifically with women. So I get really excited to talk about women in strength training. So we can kind of jump right in.
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to talk about bones. Super exciting topic. Women, as you may know, are more prone to osteoporosis and low bone density later in age than men are. So strength training, as it strengthens not only your muscles, but also your tendons and your ligaments, and therefore your bones, becomes a really important ingredient for women in prevention of issues around bones. So it's super important when you're talking about strength training.
Absolutely. And I know there's a lot of topic in the subject of injury and injury prevention as well, right? There's things about like the Q angle, right? Which is like that angle between the hips and the knee in women is a little bit greater. So what?
Yeah, absolutely. Such a good question. Yeah. Injury prevention in female athletes versus male athletes. Mm-hmm. Female athletes are 4 to 6 times more likely to tear their ACL ligament than male athletes, which is pretty crazy. Yeah. And there are many factors that contribute to that, one of which is, as you mentioned, the Q angle, that angle from the hip to the knee, which is greater in female athletes, and therefore places more mechanical stress on the knee joint. Mm-hmm. So if you think of strength training not only as a strengthening mechanism, but also as a mechanism for grooving proper movement patterns and practicing stability in the knee is a super critical piece in the injury prevention puzzle for female athletes, no matter what activity you're doing.
Totally. And another kind of subject that always tends to come up with coaches, I know Bo brings this up often with our coaches, is about building confidence. I think, we walk into the gym, there's usually a lot of dudes working out in the gym, unfortunately.
Right?
So how do we build confidence?
Totally. Thankfully, I think a lot is changing in kind of gym and weight room culture. Mm-hmm. But traditionally, it's a super male-dominated space. Yeah. And so I think for a female athlete to be in the gym strengthening your body, there's a real sense of empowerment that you can achieve there, which is pretty cool. And so I think that being able to take more ownership in a space that like maybe you didn't feel was traditionally a place for you, there's a huge amount of confidence that you can develop with that. And I think a lot of that has to do with going in with a plan and something that you feel comfortable and confident in, knowing what to do when you get to a place like that.
Totally. I think that's one of the kind of the more bigger factors of like motivation and kind of getting into your routine, right? Is there's a lot of roadblocks that can come up, right, to your routine, and it's about removing as many of those roadblocks as we can. And I think that's one of the nice things about Volt is that it takes that thinking kind of away from it, right? The program's prepared for you, it's ready for you. All you have to do is get in there and do it.
Absolutely.
And we have the male and female delineations in some of our programs, which is great as well. Right. So it has that injury focus, more dedicated towards women, and those women are female programming, which is awesome. This is great.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty helpful information. I know it's pretty high level. But if you all have more in-depth questions on this subject, we're definitely happy to cover them as best we can. Comment below, let us know. If you have not heard us talk about any other subjects, you definitely can let us know as well. Support at Volt Athletics to connect with Bo and I directly. Give us a follow, Volt Athletics, on both Twitter and Instagram if you are not already. Also, we have a blog, and
we do.
You are like one of our most famous blog writers, I hear.
I am.
Coach Christy. If y'all want to revisit these kind of 3 topics that we talked about around benefits of strength training for women, Christy actually has a blog or an article rather, on our blog called "The 3 Reasons Women Should Strength Train."
Yeah.
And I believe they can find that at blog.voltathletics.com, correct?
You sure can.
Awesome. And there's a lot of other cool articles on there too that you all should be reading. So check them out. Give us a shout out. Let us know. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Christy, for joining us today. Hopefully we can have you again soon.
I would love that.
Catch you all again soon.